If you're struggling to stay motivated as a creative right now, I'm not surprised. It's been an extremely tough year across the industry. AI is shaking things up, war and politics are reshaping lives, and the economy feels fragile. You've probably heard the old saying, may you live in interesting times. On the face of it, that sounds great, but the origins of that saying were originally considered a curse because interesting times have typically been times of upheaval, conflict, and chaos. And the world is definitely interesting right now. Upheaval, check. Conflict, check. Chaos, depending on where you live, you might already be in the middle of it. If you think about it too much, you probably want to bury your head in the sand and hope it all blows over. It can make you feel hopeless. Today, I want to share a story that gives me some hope from Ukrainian illustrator Maksym Filipenko, who started his creative career 3 years ago in the middle of a war.
Every other day there is a, let's say, small amount of drones or missiles, but every week or every 2 weeks there is a like a massive attack, which means that's when it really gets dangerous. That's when unfortunately people get killed or their property damaged, and that's when energy infrastructure is being damaged, and that means more blackouts and things like that.
Despite these awful circumstances, Maksym has managed to get his foot in the door and start his career. He tells me about his day to day life in Kiev, how he stays motivated, what he's learned about himself, and even shares some advice for other creatives going through hard times. Maksym's Instagram is linked in the description, so give him a follow. I hope you'll find his story as inspiring as I do.
I've been working. I'm booked for a month ahead, which is a bit crazy to think about, and it's also quite stressful,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. So, and we had to reschedule this chat today because your local power station was bombed. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, well, right now Russia is bombing uh, energy infrastructure all over Ukraine, and that impacts, the everyday life of millions of people. When you don't have electricity, that means you need to uh, schedule all your work, but also like daily routine within those several hours that you have power on. It's not only about drawing or sending emails, it's also about cooking and, things like that. But it's also, I kind of realized that it makes you sort of more focused. Like right now, I'm working on a commission, and I try to work faster, basically, but make decisions faster, so to say.
Do you think you could tell me what your day to day life looks like in Kiev at the moment?
Every day is almost the same. Yeah, but I'm just working right now. There's not much to do, and probably because war the war really changed the life dramatically, and in a way my work is one of the very few things that uh, keep me going. It's a very meaningful work. Right now there's not much things that can make you happy and so on, and this type of work, I realize it's a good distraction from the hard circumstances, I think.
Maxim and I are both animal lovers. Here's his cat Banksy and my cat Eggy. It's really hard to take a good photo of a black cat. Maxim would love it if you'd take a look at the link in the description for youanimals.org, which is a charity that cares for all the animals that have been impacted by the war. There's also a link for a charity that raises money for air defense against drones. Take a look, and if you can help with one of those, that would mean a lot. So you basically started your illustration career during the war. Was there a specific moment that sort of pushed you to think, I'm just going to do this anyway?
Well, yeah, I worked at Amnesty International for 7 years. before becoming an illustrator. 7 years is quite a lot, and there were moments when I thought, well, maybe I should shake things up, and I did have this idea of becoming an illustrator because I like drawing, but I also didn't have a lot of time to do that. I didn't go to art school or anything like that. There was a moment within Amnesty when all or most of Amnesty Ukraine staff left the organization. It was in August 2022. And yeah, that's when I decided to leave as well, but I decided not to continue my career in the NGO sector or something similar. I decided, yeah, this is the moment. And in 2022, it was really easy to make this decision. I don't know, for some reason, like, I don't want it to sound, dramatic, but it kind of, the war makes you realize that you have to, you know, take the opportunity. I was 32 at the moment, with no background in art, with no background in creative fields. So it was like looking back, it was quite, it was a very dumb thing to do because in a way it was a hard path, getting to now when I'm booked month ahead within, yeah, those 3 years were quite hard when it comes to, just earning money to survive. And I'm not even talking about the circumstances around me, like what happens to all of Ukraine and, my family, my close ones. Yeah.
Have there ever been moments where you've thought about giving up?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Along the way, there were moments when I applied to sort of opportunities within the NGO sector. So when I felt that, yeah, we're not earning enough to survive, well, it was like a plan B for me to apply to some job in the NGO sector. Yeah, I had those moments, but right now, looking at where my career is at this moment, I'm not, it still feels like it can change, backward to no clients at all, like no work for months, things like that. But as it is now, it looks good, like a good decision.
I want to talk to you about how you've managed to stay motivated, but I've also seen some of your stories and videos on social media. I, how close are you to danger?
With Russia being Ukraine's neighbor, whether we like it or not, we are like the whole country is in the danger zone. But of course, well, there are grades of danger. So obviously, right now, Kyiv is not at the front line. Uh, in the beginning of 2022, it was like next to the front line. The Russian forces were trying to encircle Kiev. That's perhaps was one of the most dangerous periods of time because, you just have seconds to run to the bomb shelter, and that's most of the time that's not even an option because, yeah, seconds doesn't give you anything. Right now, Russia is attacking Kiev every other day with drones or missiles. But in this case, you usually have, well, I think at least 10 minutes uh, to react to, at least be further away from windows, because most people probably don't get killed or hurt in Kiev. But the apartment can be damaged with windows being just blown off by the shock wave. Every other day there is a, let's say, small amount of drones or missiles, but every week or every 2 weeks there is a like a massive attack, which means you cannot sleep the whole night, and that's when it really gets dangerous. That's when unfortunately people get killed or their property damaged, and that's when energy infrastructure is being damaged, and that means more blackouts and things like that.
So with all that going on, how have you managed to stay motivated with your creative work?
When the war affects you in the most personal way, like really directly, that's when you cannot do anything, and you feel drained or uninspired, of course, because you need to take care of something uh, more basic. To be honest, after 3 years, war is it's just a background, a background noise, so to say. Really, uh, people get used to it. Like I said, this illustration career is it's inspiring in itself. Yeah, the illustration career is can be a great distraction from all of that. The mere the act of drawing it's like a meditation in a way. So of course, why not doing it?
Yeah.
And even comparing to my previous job when it was related to human rights violations. So you had to be all the time, like basically your work is war, is related to the war. So you're whether you like it or not, you have to read graphic things or look at graphic photographs or videos, and that's really not healthy. So in a way, I'm really glad I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing something that, uh, well, quite the opposite. It can recharge you. And even if I'm drawing something war related, it's more like a reflection, and it helps you process things.
Do you think your perspective on career success or motivation has changed in the last few years?
It definitely evolved because when I started in 2022, I actually had very little idea what does it mean to be an illustrator. Like I knew nothing about the illustration market, uh, about the high standards of illustration that you have to, uh, you know, um, you have to be really good to succeed. Just okay will not pass. That yeah, and that was part of the uh I think I can even say I was a bit delusional about how easy it would be to be an illustrator, because I thought that like in the first few months or years I could just take uh, there will be clients that will be okay with just okay illustrations, So I expected entry level job opportunities, but now I realize there are not so many entry level opportunities. Everyone wants it to look really good. I kind of realized that the standards for illustration are quite high, like really only recently, maybe even only this year, that I kind of articulated it for myself, uh, that you have to be really, really good. I'm not saying I'm really, really good, but at least I'm trying to improve.
Related to that, how does it feel when you look back on your old work from a few years ago? How does it feel to see that progress?
It's amazing, really, because actually, quite recently, I just looked at my very first Instagram posts. My first illustration post started with Inktober 2022. It's the change is so dramatic. Like I'm really grateful that such a challenge like Inktober exists because it builds a really good habit of drawing every day and just trying out or showing your work, just posting it. It's a good habit. And within 1 month, I think I made a huge progress within just that 1 month. But within 3 years, of course, the progress is amazing because, yeah, like I said, I think I was quite delusional going into this because my Inktober drawings, well, they're very lovely, but they're not good. They're not good illustration work. I
Sure.
would put it like that. Yeah.
Who was your first real illustration client then?
Yeah. My first illustration client was a Danish uh, newspaper called Solidaritet. It was it was quite reassuring because it was I think June 2023. I just put my very first portfolio, and I used to be quite active on Twitter back then. I posted my portfolio there, and I said that I'm looking for illustration opportunities. And I got my first job from Solidarity within, I think, 1 hour. I
Wow.
found the client. Yeah, it was quite cool. I had not a lot of followers, maybe 1,000 or a bit more at the time. But those, I think, were just very good connections. Not that those were people that I knew personally, but perhaps people who wished me good because at the time my Twitter account I used it to write and post stuff about Ukraine war. That's why there were people that wished me good that made a lot of reposts, and luckily I reached my first client that way. I earned my first 300 euros for 2 illustrations,
Okay.
which I think is a very good result for the first commission. After that, I didn't have work for, I think, 1 month and a half, something like that. And it was, I felt devastated that I cannot find work for such a long time. And, I emailed uh, 50 clients within those month and a half. And yeah, it was very stressful, and I started to lose motivation. And this was the first time I questioned whether it's all worth it. I think every month I had at least something. It wasn't enough to support me financially, but I didn't give up. I just didn't give up, I think. When I think about it, I just put uh, all the eggs in one basket. And it was a really bad decision when you think about it, like rationally. It
Sure.
was a very bad decision. Not knowing anything about the market, not having any connections, but because I had kind of everything to lose, probably I had no other choice, and I just had to send even more emails a month, reach to more clients, like post more work, and try to improve my work. Yeah, probably that's the way it was.
I suppose when you're living in a war zone, the thought of sending an email or posting your work online doesn't seem so scary.
Yeah, yeah. I look at my work, and I'm kind of very critical of it. So I know what's wrong. Like I finished, like you mentioned, my illustrations for Politico. It seems like great success, but uh, there are things that I look at, and some things look unfinished. But of course, the deadline was very crazy, just 48 hours. But still, you're critical of your work, and I can say it's about every other illustration. But yeah, with time, I think I'm getting more confident, I think, because sometimes when I cold email clients, they respond quite warmly. They compliment my work, and it actually helps to feel more confident. And that's why right now, at this moment, when I don't get any responses, I don't get very upset about it. I don't take it personal. I just know that it's the way it is. People don't respond to cold emails often.
Yeah.
That's it. And even if uh, it's a person who responded to me at first, that if I don't get any new responses from that person, that's also it's not a bad sign. It's not because I'm annoying or anything. It's just, I think it's kind of the work ethics in this industry. That's the way it is.
Have you learned anything about yourself, outside of the creative aspect, I suppose, over the last few years, going through what you've been through?
General things about what my body is capable of, that I need to. I think one of the problems that I'm facing right now is I don't exercise much. So I think a lot of illustrators can say the same because it's a work where you sit a lot. That's also one of the things that I learned about myself. And the related thing is that you work alone. Uh, and I'm okay with it. I like working alone. Uh, I don't think I need like a company or anything. But I also realized that uh, when I have the opportunity to talk to other illustrators, when I have the opportunity to talk to you, it can be it can be just very helpful because sometimes you have certain frustrations or questions, or you just need to share something with someone. And whenever I had the time to have a portfolio review, for instance, I took that opportunity, and it really helped me to hear from someone who is like you, but probably more professionally advanced. That really helps. I'm not a very sort of person who needs to work in a team. I kind of realized that from time to time, having a chat with another illustrator, whether it's a video call or just, talking on some forums or social media groups, that's very useful usually.
Did I see that you'd been through a mentorship program with, yeah, which one was that?
It's the Association of Illustrators Mentorship Scheme, the British Association of Illustrators. Yeah, feeling very lucky and blessed to be selected for this program. I have a wonderful mentor, Marcus Marit,
Yeah.
also a British illustrator. Yeah, so for now, the mentorship is well reaching its conclusion soon. But within these almost 6 months, I had the time to talk to another illustrator, to a professional. Yeah, so it was definitely useful to have that.
The Association of Illustrators and other organizations, those opportunities are really, really valuable. Even though the Association of Illustrators is in the UK, it's helping people all over. So I don't know how to phrase this exactly, but you've been through some very difficult times. Other people around the world, in my country and America and wherever else, the scale is different. But I wondered if you had any advice, words of wisdom for other creatives who are going through a hard time, thinking about giving up.
What advice do I have? Well, if you're feeling like you're giving up, find someone to talk to. I mean, find another illustrator, find a professional like you, an illustration agent, or a creative that you trust, and talk to that person, because I think that's one of the most useful things that kind of help you help shape things up for you. And even if you don't have anyone to talk to, the thing I usually do, uh, I watch or listen to podcasts, and when illustrators talk to illustrators and they share their experience. Watch this video because that's kind of funny, because I used to watch your videos for 2 years or so. Sometimes you also invited other illustrators to talk to you, and those were my favorite videos, because uh, you uh, had those portfolio reviews. Maybe the illustrator's style was not the same as mine, but there were a lot of things that I could apply to myself or just pay attention to. And I saw an actual illustrator who is probably also struggling with something, either with their portfolio or just their skills or something like that, or just the marketing part. And hearing that there's someone who is also struggling, but that person receives advice from a more experienced person, it gives you, yeah, it's kind of a therapy. So that part really worked for me.
What are you hopeful for in the future?
Um, I'm hopeful life would come back to being easier. Yeah, but if we're talking about the illustration career, I don't know. I would be grateful if I would be just getting constant opportunities. I don't dream about working with the biggest clients, but if the clients pay well, that's good enough for me. And I think if the projects are interesting, that's also quite great. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I don't mind the clients that pay really, really well.
War is an extreme circumstance. Most of us will never have to live through something like that, thankfully. But everyone faces their own version of difficulty: the dry spells, the self doubt, the projects that fall through, and the rejection emails that never seem to end. It might not be as dramatic, but it still hurts. It still tests your resilience. The reason I wanted to share Maksym's story is because it shows something universal: that there's always a path forward. Even when the situation feels impossible, even when the world feels unstable, there's value in doing the work anyway. You might not be able to control the industry or the economy or the algorithm, but you can control what you create, how often you show up, and how you respond when things get tough. That's what Maksym did, and that's what every creative at every stage can do. So if you're in that low point right now, keep going. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to keep moving, one project, one drawing, one small win at a time. Thank you to Maksym for speaking with me. I've linked his Instagram below, so go give him a follow. Thanks.